Hello and welcome to Hassyan Clean Coal Power Plant. Nomac is founded in 2005, a renowned name for providing high-quality operation and maintenance services to produce electricity and desalinated water worldwide. Nomac is part of Aqua Power. Nomac's strong core values revolve around the ideology of safety, people and performance. We put safety first. We are committed to protecting the well-being of our employees, partners, plants and the committees in which we operate.
Hello and welcome to Hassyan Clean Coal Power Project. Safety is the utmost importance to us. We are committed to a healthy working environment and a well-being of our employees, partners, contractors and visitors. This is our top priority. An effective health, safety, security and environment management system is implemented to ensure welfare of all as well as the environment. The compliance of HSSE rules is necessary for all, no exceptions. Any violation of rules will imply that the person is risking their and others' safety and the environment around them. This will never be tolerated. Please help us to protect yourself and others around you.
We find a sustainable solution for our business to protect the environment for generations. People at Nomac work on the ethics of trust, respect and integrity with one and all. To achieve excellence, we work together in synchronization as teams, supporting customer, personnel, and organizational goals. To help you understand our vision and PGM's message better, let us walk you through the Nomac Hassyan plant and show you how the security is governed in varied areas. At Hassyan Clean Coal Power Plant, security procedures and protocols in the plant premises are formulated keeping in mind that safety for all is supreme. All visitors and contractors visiting the Hassyan Clean Coal Power Plant shall display their entry gate pass to the security personnel. They will then be accompanied by a member of our security personnel to take the mandatory safety induction training before entering the plant. After the training, the Nomac staff shall escort the visitors or workers to their designated areas. The entry gate and security protocols. There are a variety of guidelines that are available for staff, contractors and visitors. All visitors must attend the visitor induction, staff and contractors to attend full plant induction. Individual entry. All individuals, Nomac, owner company and contractor employees enter the plant with a valid RFID. Visitors, vendors and suppliers will be allowed to enter with valid visitor's pass, after checking entry gate pass and confirmation with meeting employee. After giving HSSE induction and mandatory PPEs. The entry of any general vehicle is limited to the plant for security and safety reasons. At the security checkpoint, the driver shall present valid documents such as photo identification, valid insurance, and a valid driving license. Drivers to follow site speed limits always, 20 kilometers on the plant. It is prohibited for drivers to use a mobile phone while driving. All drivers are required to reverse park in all areas. All types of heavy vehicles, such as mobile crane, forklift, boom truck, chemical container, are required to stop at the entry gate for security checks. When any vehicle carrying contractor material, like scaffolding, compressor, generator, tools, a thorough inspection is carried out by the Nomac employee. Contractors shall provide a material in checklist that will be verified by material Nomac employee relating to the department responsible for the contractor. A record of the same is kept with the security team at the entry gates. Media policy. Photography at the plant is strictly prohibited without prior permission. Also, don't share or report any plant information or photos on social media like external agency, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Facebook. Smoking policy. Only smoke at designated or authorized smoking zones. Safety is our utmost concern. Therefore, anyone who enters the plant premises to have the minimum mandatory PPEs, such as safety helmet, safety shoes, hearing protection, and safety glass, except in PPE-free zones. Other PPE, such as safety gloves, earplugs, and full-body safety harness, shall be worn as per the requirement of area and activity, except PPE-free zone. Other than the mandatory PPEs, task-associated PPEs shall be used. For example, a full-body safety harness is used while working at height or scaffoldings where no collective fall prevention measures are not available. A retractable lifeline is used while working above the ground level to prevent from falling from height, and a suitable anchor point above head height. While performing welding jobs, a welding hood, leather apron, and welding gloves are imperative. Face shield, leather gloves, leather apron is used while performing a grinding activity. When working inside a confined space with an oxygen level of less than 19.5%, air-fed hood or SCBA equipment to be used. Also, suitable ventilation and extraction to be provided. To work in a high-temperature environment, suitable protective clothing to be used. Excavations. Excavation procedures to be followed. Shoring, safe access, and egress. Emergencies are usually unforeseen, severe, and often perilous. To deal with them, follow the emergency response guidelines available on request. Examples of emergency situations: fire, falling from a height, heat stroke, accident by vehicle, toxic gas release, chemical spillage, drowning in seawater intake, and outfall are all considered as different types of emergencies. The plant emergency response teams are trained to deal with all emergencies at the plant. Plant emergency equipment, fire truck, ambulance, clinic, and external help are available to handle all critical emergencies. In case of any emergency, do not panic, stop work, and call site emergency number available on backside of Nomac provided RFID or access pass. While placing the call, mention your name, your location at the plant, the type of emergency, and the kind of assistance you require. Then, evacuate area safely through emergency exit route and reach nearby assembly point. In case of emergency siren, stop your work and evacuate the plant premises safely through the emergency exit routes and assemble in nearest assembly point. In the case of the backup fuel leak, everyone is advised to go to the assembly point in an upwind direction by following the windsocks. Employees, contractors, and visitors with Nomac, you are required to report all incidents, including HSSE observations, unsafe conditions, unsafe acts, near miss, and accidents immediately to their line supervisor and incident reporting system, Synergy Life. If you are a visitor, please report any unsafe acts to the department head you are visiting. Now, Let us take a quick tour of the different sections of our plant and discuss the probable hazards which we can expect here. Number 1. Plant's entrance gates. The common hazards we see here are vehicle collision, security breach, and ergonomic accidents. 2. Car parking has hazards like vehicle collisions. 3. Administration area and social area. Moving up or down stairs using mobile phones or hot drinks, slips and trip hazards. Stairs, lifts. 4. Warehouse and the workshops. Manual handling, fire and chemical hazards. 5. Central control building. Hazards such as fire, electrocution, poor lighting condition. 6. Gas receiving facility. Threats like fire, explosion, fall, confined space, ergonomic accident, high pressure lines and equipment, and machine hazards can be expected in this area. Number 7. Coal receiving facility. Threats from ship collision, drowning, environmental hazards, coal yard shed and coal transfer system. This complex area could possess many threats such as fall, fire, vehicle collision, electrocution, poor lighting condition, entanglement, physical contact with conveyor, fire, inhaling of coal dust, and environmental hazards. 8. Main powerhouse. At this facility, physical injury, heat stress, high noise, electrocution, high pressure equipment, high temperature pipelines and equipment are the typical threats. Number 9. Boiler. It is hazards like high temperature, high pressure lines, explosion, fire, and electrical and chemical accidents. 10. Transformers can possess threats like electric shock, short circuit, fire, explosion, and oil spill. 11. Switch gear room. It possesses hazards like electric shock, ergonomic hazards, arc flash. 12. Seawater intake and outfall area. Serious threats such as falling, drowning, and confined space can be anticipated here. 13. Main cooling water pump. Hazards like fall, electrocution, and high noise are common here. 14. Electrochlorination plant has threats of chemical exposure and electrocution. 15. RO plant and lab building. Dangers like electrocution, high noise, chemical exposure, and environmental hazard are present at this facility. 16. Firefighting pump house. Threats from high-pressure pipelines, noise, and other equipment. 17. Wastewater treatment plant, where we may face hazards like chemical exposure and environmental hazards. 18. Chemical storage and laydown area may have threats like environmental hazards and chemical exposure. The workplace organized method of 5S is implemented at all levels throughout the Hassyan plant. 5S, that means sort, set in order, shine, standardize, and sustain, is used by the management to make sure there is place for everything, and everything is in its place. To eliminate chance of emergencies, Nomac developed 10 life-saving rules that we follow strictly and religiously. These rules are designed with the view to keep every person at Hassyan Clean Coal Power Plant safe, to ensure no risk to health and a safe work environment. Violation of these life-saving rules by anyone leads to strict disciplinary action. Now, let us discuss these rules one by one. Rule number 1. Work with a valid permit to work wherever required. Make sure that you have a valid permit to work. You must follow all safety precautions mentioned on permit to work while performing the job, maintaining safety from the system. Rule number 2. Conduct gas tests wherever required. Gas testing identifies the presence of any gases that are harmful to health. Rule number 3. Verify isolation before work begins and use the specified life-protecting equipment, LOTO. Lockout, tagout. Isolation separates us from dangers such as electricity, pressure, toxic materials, poison gas, chemicals, hot liquids, radiation, to keep us safe. The system should mandatorily reach zero energy state before we begin the work. Rule number 4. Authorization for confined space. Confined spaces, such as a vessel, tank, or a pipe, can contain explosive and poisonous gases that can cause fire and explosions. Other dangers, such as lack of oxygen, symptoms include breathlessness, dizziness, heat stroke, lightheaded, poor lighting, and limited entry and exit space. Before starting work inside a confined space, it is mandatory to meet prerequisites such as confined space attendant on site, gas test, adequate lighting, proper ventilation access to emergency exits, valid permit to work, and adherence to all safety precautions. Rule number 5. Obtain authorization before overriding or disabling safety-critical equipment. The primary purpose of all safety-critical equipment is to keep you safe. Hence, it is necessary to ensure their proper functioning. Examples of safety-critical equipment include isolation devices, emergency shutdown valves, lockout, tagout devices, trip systems, relief valves. In a scenario where overriding or disabling any safety-critical equipment is required to perform a job, prior authorization from the supervisor or in charge is necessary. Rule number 6. Use an adequate fall protection equipment when working at height. When working at a height of more than 1.2 meters or 4 feet, you are required to have suitable collective safety measures in place to prevent falls from heights. This should include the use of fall protection equipment is mandatory. Types of equipment like safety harness, self-retracting lifelines, deadweight anchors, anchor points, stainless steel cables should be used depending upon the level of risk. A protective environment must include approved scaffolds, stairs with handrails, man lifts, etc., depending upon the job. Rule number 7. Wear a seatbelt and follow traffic rules. While driving, seatbelt keeps you safe and protects you from serious injuries. The use of seatbelt is mandatory while driving within plant premises. Obey the speed limits. Rule number 8. No entry beneath a suspended load. A suspended load is an object that is temporarily lifted and is hanging above the ground. Working or walking directly under a suspended load is dangerous, as the load could fall on any person beneath. Therefore, as a precaution, barricades are placed around the site of suspended load and no one is allowed to cross it at any point in time. Rule number 9. No use of mobile phone and no exceeding of speed limits while driving. Using a mobile phone or speeding while driving increases the chances of losing control of your vehicle. Therefore, it is strictly prohibited to use a mobile phone while driving, even with hands-free, as it may distract the driver's attention and could lead to a fatal accident. Rule number 10. No smoking. Smoking is prohibited in all operational areas of the plant, as it could lead to fire. Nomac policies. Smoking is allowed only at designated locations. Before violating any of these life-saving rules, we must think about our families and loved ones, as they are the ones waiting for us to return home safely. Safety for all has always been Nomac's first core value, and therefore Stop Work Authority guidelines are followed. We are committed to ensuring the safety of our employees and other personnel working with us. The working environment should be secure and healthy to work. In our quest to achieve it, we believe emergencies can be avoided with alertness and quick responses to vulnerable situations. Every employee and personnel at Nomac is responsible for contributing to create and sustain a safe and healthy workspace. We should also protect the environment. Stop Work Authority is a program designed to facilitate safety. It entrusts employees and contract workers with the responsibility and obligation to stop work when they encounter any unsafe condition or behavior that may result in a fatal event or emergency. Stop Work Authority is a several-step process. Its intervention steps direct employees to stop, notify, investigate, correct, resume, and follow up. Thank you for attending the plant induction.